guy. Elon's starting a company and he's planning on buying this one company called Tesla. And he wants to compete in the automotive industry, okay? You have a shot at going in and getting 0.2% of the company. But that's nothing, Pat. Okay, fair. It's nothing. What's 0.2% today of $1 trillion company? 0.2% of $1 trillion company today, I want to say it's 2 billion, but let me do the math real quick. 0.2% of $1 trillion company is, boom, it's $2 billion. So you may have been like, yeah, but you're not an entrepreneur. Yeah, but you're $2 billion. You did okay. You didn't have to be an entrepreneur. So would you rather be an entrepreneur being worth $50 million or be an entrepreneur worth $2 billion? You can go on a liquor store and it's your liquor store and it's only one and you make 180 grand a year net, but you're an entrepreneur, or you can go work with a killer guy like Musk and get equity in that company and become a decamillionaire, right? So that notion between the two, social media has confused a lot of people. Before people jump, and go out there and just become entrepreneurs, if you know any killers around you, or if you know anybody who said, I don't know who that person is, but I know that guy's going places with that new company he started, I'm going to send him a message. And I want to say, I want to work for you before I start my own business. Maybe that's going to be a better route for me. Just as much as you're looking for ideas and companies to work for, look for great creative minds and personalities who you feel are going to do something massive. Figure out a way to go team up with them. That may be just as valuable as a great company to be a part of, maybe even more.
This is so valuable. I love what you just said. Like, I resonate so much with it. And I think it also is important to understand what you really want, because money is not the end all be all. Money is not just it also matters, what kind of work-life balance do you want? Do you want to have a family? Do you want to work, 18-hour days for 4 years? These are all questions that you need to ask about yourself and what you truly want in life. And sometimes they don't align with being an entrepreneur of a huge company. It's really hard to be an entrepreneur and a CEO.
Extremely difficult. Extremely difficult.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about how you started your first company. So you worked at Transamerica for over 7 years, and then you started a national finance service company, PHP Agency. And you say your business was inspired by saying your dad told you never be afraid of the truth. Why did you decide to start that business?
Yeah. So I was working at Transamerica and I was at Morgan Stanley prior to that. And a few things happened during that era. Number one is I saw in the securities industry, when you were selling stocks, bonds, mutual funds, you had to report to your boss, broker dealer, every time you communicated with somebody on Facebook. So it's very weird. You're like, every time I communicate with a client, I have to report it to you. You do. Why? Because that's the BD guidelines. I'm like, that's just insane. Because social media is the way of life. As well, because you have to report everything on email. You have to report everything on social media. I said, you don't understand. That's not sustainable. Well, that's what the regulation says. I said, okay, sounds good. Being somebody that's securities licensed, I have to adjust to it. Then I said, that's not going to last long term. Social media is here to stay, and it's just going to get bigger. This is 18 years ago. Then I watched a guy named Ron Paul raise $6 million on MySpace in 24 hours, okay? Now, this is MySpace. Most people don't know what MySpace is if their age starts with the number 2 or they're teenagers. They don't know what MySpace is, right? MySpace, your age has to start with 3 to really know what MySpace is, at least that you used it, right? Okay. Mm-hmm. So he raises, a 69-year-old man runs for president and raises $6 million on MySpace in 24 hours, and it becomes a Guinness Book of World Record. I'm like, that's crazy to see that happening. Then I saw the Hispanic vote becoming very big. Then I saw a one-term senator become a 2-term president, all through social media, raising $5, $10, Barack Obama. And then I saw every article talked about the fact that for every dollar that's spent, 75 cents of the dollar spent, the decision maker was a woman. So women power was getting girl boss. This was like it was starting to become more and more and more. Women wanted to become business owners and executives and entrepreneurs. Anyways, I'm watching all this stuff. I said, this is the direction the financial industry is going. So October of 2009, I started my own insurance company. I wrote a book called about the next perfect storm. And I explained, here's what's going to be happening. And today, if you come to one of our conventions, we just had a convention at the MGM Grand Arena. You come in August, we'll have 15,000 people there. We've had the late Kobe Bryant interviewed in front of everybody. We had President Bush there. We've had Kevin Hart do the Irresponsible tour
Wow.
there. We've had Sebastian Maniscalco perform last year. We had Nicky Jam there, Mike Tyson. We had Mario Lopez was our MC. This year we have Shaq, we have Kurt Warner, we have Layla Ali, we have Penn and Teller performing. We have Nelly's opening up the convention as a concert. So, but the average agent today is a 34-year-old Hispanic female. So I saw the youth, I saw the women, and I saw Hispanic, and then we're multicultural.